are here at Austria for round number 9 of Racing Formula League Season 15. The 5 red lights are on now, and it is lights out, and away we go. Who gets away well off the start? It's a good start from Tanner, but he does cover off Danny, who had a good start as well. Oh, there's some slight contact. Oh, and an Aston Martin of Matthew heading towards the wall, and they are now in last position, but battle for the lead into turn 3. Tanner defending from Danny, and there's action further back as well. Verklempt making up positions, but side by side as Danny gets through for the lead. Through turns 3 and into turn 4 now as well. And Danny takes the lead. Oh, and there's contact, which he slightly hits Angelo there. And thankfully, nothing too major happening in terms of a spin. But Tarrier's right on the tail of Danny. Could this be the lap where Tarrier gets the opportunity? We'll have a look. Into turn 3 they go. Danny defending the inside. Oh, but alongside him, Kozlesko hits the back. And is that going to allow Angelo through? It very well could, as they go side by side. Here goes Angelo, and up to P3. And go side by side for P5. Verklempt has gone up the inside, but Formula Bucci defends the inside into turn number 6 and into turn 7, and it's Bucci who stays in that position of P5 for now. It is nose to tail between the top two once again, so we'll have a look here. As we start lap 4, it is now side by side for the lead. Tarrier gets the inside and he takes the lead back away from Danny M7. And let's see what happens next. Now it is Tarrier who's not going to have the DNS. And Tarrier's going to defend the inside line into turn 3, but has Danny got round the outside? Yes, he has indeed. Now the two Ferraris next to each other. It's going to be interesting to see what they do throughout this race. Obviously both involved in the Drivers' Championship, but Danny defending the inside line into turn 4 once again. Can Tarrier swoop around the outside? He's going to try it, but is it going to come off as they head on to turn 6? And Danny defends once again, and he's going to have DNS once again on the run up to turn 3. Tarrier, where's he going to go? Danny defending the inside line once again, and who will keep the lead? It is going to be Danny for now, but who's got a better exit out of the turn 3 hairpin? Danny once again defending inside line, but it's side by side into the braking zone of turn 4. Who is going to come out on top this time round? Tarrier swoops around the outside. Can he keep alongside and get the inside line potentially here for turn number 6? Oh, it's very close between the two of them. Tarrier though, he's got the inside line and now he's got the advantage into turn 7. But can he keep it on to turn number 8? Then it goes back to the inside for Danny now. But Tarrier has taken the lead here of this Austrian Grand Prix, and this is some tremendous action here for the podium positions. Tarrier defends the inside line, and there's action between Ashton and Master Paldano side by side into turn 4. The Aston of Ashton has the inside line, but who is going to come out on top? And it looks like Ashton, P7 for them. Who is going to come out on top come the end? We will of course see as Tom drops back. Tom, he's facing the wrong way. What has happened to Tom? Unfortunately we've not seen that, but it's into last place for Tom Gorian. Oh, it's battle for P7 again, and Mastor goes through. Ashton on the grass there just manages to keep his car facing the right way, and the battle for P7 continues on as up the inside he goes, and the Aston Martin back to P7, and Tom has retired in the pit lane there. Tom, not a good start as Master Paldonado's had an issue, and is into the pits for Master Paldonado. And now Angelo closing to Danny here, as Formula Bucci meanwhile gets ahead of Kozlesko. Back up to the top 3, the championship protagonists all battling each other. Vapid gets ahead of Matthew into turn number 4, And does he complete the move? He does now. Does Vapid, and he's up to P9. Verklempt pits for McLaren. The first of the front runners to go into the pits. And what tyres are it going to be? It's going to be some hard tyres for Verklempt. Don't want to miss any of the action. Oh, and speaking of action, it is pit lane action because Tarrier and Danny into the pits. Into the pits for... Oh, he's close. He's managed to get the speed down. Manages to avoid a penalty. Does Tarrier as he pits. And on to some hard tyres for LP Tarrier and Danny doing the same as well. So we also have Small Girl into the pits with Haas. They go on to some hard compound tyres. And out the pit lane as Tarrier comes out just behind Polar in the V-carb. So is this going to cost some time for Tarrier and potentially for Danny as well? But they go side by side. And Tarrier goes through on Polar. Can Danny do the same? Let's have a look. Oh, he's not quite able to get past. This could advantage Tarrier here, but Danny is opportunistic and he gets through turns 5 and 6, and Danny still within that DRS range. Angelo stays out another lap because Lesko is next into the pits though. Because Lesko pits here. And Matthew's also into the pits. But what tyre for Lesko? It is going to be some hards for the McLaren driver. And for the Aston Martin of Matthew, it's going to be a set of medium tyres. Of course, they started on the hard tyre. And Verklempt on the tail of Polar now. Is there going to be some action into the hairpin of turn 3? Verklempt goes up the inside and takes P7. Polar trying to get back at Verklempt, but Verklempt with the inside line is able to defend. The question is now, what can Angelo do in free air? Is his pace going to be good enough? What is his pit stop strategy? Of course, last time out in Monza, he went later into the race on the first stint and it won him the Grand Prix. But what's going to happen this time round as Tarrier overtakes Vapid for P4? And Danny not able to do the same. Oh, but Vapid's off track. And that sees Danny go straight through. Now, Matthew makes a move on the half of Small Girl. Now they are on the tail of Notorious. And still remains nose to tail. It's going to be action now into turn 4. That is the question. DRS is open for Matthew. And Matthew switching sides and goes around the outside of Notorious. Ended up being a pretty nice move there, as now Small Girl makes the move as well, as Tarrier gets ahead of Ashton, who has gone into the pit lane. So Ashton pits for Aston Martin, and Polar also pits for V-carb as well, and going to be some mediums for Days Ashton. And now Polar pits for V-carb, and it's going to be some medium tyres for them. Well, it could be quite close out the pit lane here, as Small Girl just gets ahead of Ashton. But side by side they go, and Ashton getting back up to P9 there. Into the pits for a locking up Formula Bucci, but they get down to the speed limiter, and it's on to some hard tyres for the Red Bull driver. One thing I have noticed, already Tarrier's only 6 seconds off his teammate, because, well, now 2 Aston Martins are switching positions. And Ashton gets up to 8th position now. But Danny's getting close to Tarrier as well. But Verklempt, side by side he goes with Vapid, and the McLaren driver goes now up to P4. These two really are catching Angelo here as the two Astons switch positions again. And side by side they still remain, the two Aston Martin cars. They close the DRS to Ashton, and now side by side into turn 4. Has been a little bit of contact between them. Angelo has gone on all the way to lap 16 on these tyres, and now into the pits for Angelo. It's going to be some hard tyres. Oh, the two Mercedes switch positions because Lesko gets ahead of Vapid now. And now it could be close out of the pits. It's Formula Bucci P6, Angelo comes out P7. What is the pace of Angelo going to be like here? Can he preserve his tyres, and can he be quick enough at the end of the Grand Prix? Angelo makes the move up the inside. Can he make it stick? Oh, it's ever so close between Angelo and Bucci, but the Ferrari driver up to P6 now. Angelo closing up to Vapid though now. Heading towards turn 9. Angelo going up the inside, and he makes the move stick. It's now up to P5 for Angelo. So there is action for P3 as well. It is side by side. Verklempt gets ahead of Kozlesko, and Bucci also ahead of Vapid. Matthew also is ahead of Ashton. Danny, he is 6/10 of a second off of the lead as the two Astons. Side by side once again. Who comes out on top this time? It's Ashton. Around the outside he goes, and it's Ashton who comes out on top this time in the battle of the Aston Martins. Tarrier might have to defend here. Maybe not as much, but Angelo going up the inside. He's going to make the move stick, is he, for a potential double overtake? And he does now complete that move. However, Verklempt's going to come back into turn 4, and it's up the inside for the McLaren, and still they battle away. And it's going to be Verklempt with the inside, and it's not worked out for Angelo there. And now, oh, what's happened to Tarrier? Tarrier's in the wall. Tarrier has hit the wall as Angelo now gets up to P3, and it's all kicking off here. It is all going on, and now what's going to happen here? Will Angelo be vulnerable from behind as Vapid eventually into the pits for him? Tarrier still has his front wing intact, so has he got away with one there? Potentially. So now Angelo breaks out of the DRS range, as it could be a look from Kozlesko. Still Verklempt P4. And so it is DRS for Kozlesko in the Mercedes car. He's going to go up the inside of Verklempt in the McLaren, and Kozlesko makes the move stick, but has he gone in too deep into the hairpin, and has Verklempt got the better exit? It is the DRS for the McLaren driver, and now Verklempt gets the inside line for turn 4, which enables him to make the move. Oh, and it's contact with Bucci. It's Kozlesko there, and the Astons battling yet again. Verklempt is into the pits, and the McLaren driver goes on to a fresh set of hard compound tyres, as the two Astons very close to each other. Also close to each other is Kozlesko and Formula Bucci as the Red Bull driver gets up to P4. And coming out of the pits, it's going to be close between Verklempt and Polar here. Who's going to come out on top? It's going to be Polar for now, but is that going to change at all? And two Aston Martins yet again battle away And Ashton once again is able to come out on top, but Verklempt is on the tail of Polar with DNS does the McLaren man, and Verklempt gets to P8 there. And meanwhile, into the pits for LTK Tarrier from second position. And let's see the tyre choice. It's going to be another set of hard tyres for LTK Tarrier. Let's see where he comes out, because Kraslesko's pitted onto some hard tyres as well. Matthew is also into pits for Aston Martin. It's going to be some medium tyres for them. Tarrier though has come out just behind Ashton, and very close to that rear wing is Tarrier. DRS is open for LTK Tarrier, side by side with Ashton for P4. Tarrier going around the outside, and he makes the move stick. Meanwhile, there is action for P8 as Vapid gets out of Polar. It's into the pits for FaZe Ashton as Verklempt gets a 3-second penalty. He's gone wide at the exit of the final corner. But Ashton into the pits for the Martin team, and it's going to be some mediums for them. Polar is also into the pits for the V-Carb team. And Polar, it's going to be some medium tyres. Danny M7 now into the pits. Danny M7 pits on to the medium tyre. So Danny has chosen the medium tyre, and he's on to a different tyre to the two Ferrari drivers. Danny comes out just behind his teammate in P3. Will that change very shortly? We'll have a look. And it will of course be DRS for Danny M7, and of course his teammate doesn't battle too hard there. And now it is Angelo who leads, but it's a 4.2 seconds gap, and it is a fastest lap from Danny. See already just how close it is, and what is going to happen here between the two. It's DRS for Danny M7. Danny M7 tucked up right behind that Ferrari car, and has a slight look, but can he get a good exit here? Can Danny? He does indeed. He gets himself alongside. DRS is open, and what is going to happen here down towards turn number 4? Danny with the inside line, and it's Danny M7 who takes the lead here at Austria. And Angelo down in P2 now on the one stop. The strategy that worked out for Angelo last time out in Italy hasn't quite worked to the same effect here at Austria. At the moment, it is Ferrari versus Red Bull, both in a battle for the lead and for that third podium position. And so, what can Tarrier do here? Oh, it's a little bit of a mistake from Bucci out of turn 3. Can Tarrier now get the advantage that he needs? And it is looking like Tarrier's going to go on the inside. Yes, he does. Side by side into turn 4. And Tarrier makes the move. And the Ferrari man now back up into the podium positions, as now the two Aston Martins battling once again. Ashton ahead of Matthew. Of course, with the penalty situation for Verklempt, another penalty for them. Have a look. It's 3 seconds for Tarrier and for Bucci, and Verklempt with 6 seconds in the top 5 there. Of course, the two Mercedes without penalties, so keep an eye on that. Into the pits for Matthew. Matthew goes on to the soft compound tyre. So, see where Matthew comes out after going on to the soft. It's going to be close between himself and Small Girl. and they come out side by side, and Matthew with the time advantage now, and it's Matthew up to P10. DRS is going to be open here for Ashton as we head down the pit straight. 3 laps to go. And Vapid under pressure here from FaZe Ashton. And Ashton takes the inside line of turn 2 and gets the job done into the braking zone of turn 3, and it's Ashton up to P7 on track. And Polar has come into the pits. The AI car of Polar has pitted onto some soft tyres. That could cost a position or two. Vapid now with DRS on Ashton. Will these two continue on the battle here for P7? It's going to be Vapid. DRS is open for the Mercedes driver. And is it going to be side by side here, or is Vapid going to try and wait? No, he is going to wait. Can he get a good exit though through the hairpin of turn 3? As DRS is open for Vapid once again. Can he make any sort of manoeuvre into turn 4? Vapid up the inside. Can he make it stick? He just about can, but Ashton comes back through. Does he make it through? He does. Ashton back through on Vapid for P7 there. And now two Ferraris line astern as we are on now the final lap of this Austrian Grand Prix. DRS is open for Tarrier. Is he going to go for it here on his teammate? No, they're going to stay as they are. However though, Danny M7, he is approaching the final sector. He was beaten last time out on strategy by Angelo, but this time round Danny has made the correct strategy call. Danny has now opened up the gap, and it's going to be, in the end, a lovely race victory for the Red Bull driver to close the championship gap back to 6 points. Could be 5 if he has the fastest lap, but it's Danny M7 to win the Austrian Grand Prix. It's Angelo P2, Tyler 3rd, and does it stay that way as the rest of the drivers cross the line? Vapid and Ashton are side by side, but Ashton still ahead as it's Verklempt P5 on track, but Kozlesko takes that on penalties, so Kozlesko 5th, Verklempt in 6th. And it's going to be Ashton to win the battle for P7 on track, but he does have a penalty which will promote Vapid to P7. So Vapid 7th, Ashton in 8th, Matthew's going to be 9th, Small Girl 10th, Mastor 11th, Polar 12th, and Notorious 13th. And now we'll check who has the fastest lap here. Fastest lap, it is Danny who has the fastest lap, so Danny's going to close the gap to just 5 points in the championship. Danny M7 wins the Austrian Grand Prix here for Red Bull, takes the fastest lap, and now the championship gap between himself and Angelo is just 5 points. And so Angelo in P2, Tarrier 3rd, Bucci in 4th, Kozlesko 5th, with Verklempt 6th, Vapid 7th, Ashton in 8th, Matthews 9th, Small Girl 10th, Mastor in 11th, with Polar 12th, Notorious 13th, and with Tom Gorian not finishing.